Hello students, good morning everyone. So plus one commerce, you all know that we are journalizing transactions. Before making journal entries, first of all we have to analyze and do the treatment of transactions, make different accounts like capital account, drawings account, the bad debts account. That is, in this session you will learn how to pass a journal entry. Before proceeding with the topic, first of all let us go to the learning objectives. Meaning of an account, classification of accounts, double entry system, meaning of journal, rules of journalizing, simple and compound journal entries, advantages of using journal, and opening entry. So we have to cover the various key terms here: owner's capital, notes payable, loan amount, LLC, that is limited liability company, lease, repairs and maintenance cost, and agglomeration, that is aggregation. Now let us take an example. Mickey wants to start a textile business, and let us help him with the concept of accounting. There are few top textile industry events in Asia: Textile Asia, Karachi, Pakistan; Inter Textile, Shanghai; April Fabrics, Shanghai, China; Shenzhen International Trade Fair for Apparel, Fabrics and Accessories, Shenzhen, China; Textiles India, New Delhi, India; Taipei Innovative Textile Application Show, Taipei, Taiwan. So let us take an example. First of all, Mickey wants to invest rupees 5 lakhs in the business on 1st January 2015. Now there are two people involved, two transactions, two elements involved. One is cash and another is Mickey. Since Mickey is the owner of the business, the cash he contributes will be called capital. It is treated as personal account, that is cash and capital. Now what we have to do here, first of all we have to remember the golden rule: debit what comes in and credit the giver. So cash is an asset, it's a real account. Cash is coming in the business, and the one who is investing in the business is Mickey. He is the owner. He is a personal account, a representative, so he will be credited. Then journal entry would be like cash account debit to capital account with rupees 5 lakh. So look at the format first. First column will be of date, in which we record the date on which the business has been started or the transaction has taken place. Then one account is debited, another is credited. So when we write it, we write A/C with narration, being cash brought in by the owner. Narration is very important for writing a journal entry. And both debit and credit amounts are always equal. Now we have here one term capital, which refers to fund raised to support a particular business or project. Capital can also represent the accumulated wealth of a business, represented by its assets and less liabilities. Capital can also mean stock or ownership in a company. First of all, who is an owner in a business? So definition of an owner is: a business owner is the legal proprietor of a business, an individual or group that owns the assets of a firm and profits from them. So here comes the combination, that is owner's capital. So what is the define of owner's capital, which is also called owner's equity? The equity account that shows the owner's stake in the business, that how much is the contribution of the proprietor in his own business. In other words, this account shows how much of the company's assets are owned by the owner instead of the creditors. Typically, the owner's capital account is only used for sole proprietor, that is, single owner business. Now, the second transaction. On 4th January 2015, Mickey takes a loan of rupees 5 lakhs from the bank. Now, again here there are two elements, cash and bank. Cash is a real account, debit what comes in and credit the giver. So, bank is here a personal account, he is a giver here. On 4th January, cash account debit to bank account being loan taken from bank, that is rupees 5 lakh. Again, first of all we put the date, then we will pass an entry with the help of a narration. So, amount of debit and credits are always equal. When a company borrows money from its bank and agrees to repay the loan amount within a year, the company will record the loan by increasing its cash and increasing a current liability, such as notes payable or loans payable. In this case, an asset, that is cash, is increasing and the money is received into the bank account of the business. So, a liability, a loan increases, representing the amount owed to the bank in accordance with the loan agreement. The amount recorded is termed as the loan principal. So, what are the various benefits of loan against an FD? First of all, interest rates are very low, no processing fees, no need to break your fixed deposit, and loan dispersal is very quick. Next, the third transaction. On 7th January 2015, Mickey buys a shop building worth rupees 2 lakhs. Now, first of all, there are two elements again. One is building, another is cash. Building and cash both are real accounts because these two are assets. Now, our golden rule followed here will be debit what comes in, credit what goes out. So, he is obtaining building. So, building is coming in the business and cash is going out of the business. So, building account debited to cash account with 2 lakh, being building bought for rupees 2 lakhs. Purchasing the building for cash. The last method is the simplest. A business owner can purchase a building outright for cash. Ideally, you would buy the building either personally or as an LLC, that is limited liability company. Then lease the building to your company then pays you rent. That is, you are giving your own company a building which is on lease and company is in return giving you rent. Now, on 10th January 2015, Mickey buys furniture worth rupees 10,000. So now, what are the two elements involved here? Furniture and cash. Furniture and cash both again are assets. They are real accounts. Debit what comes in, credit what goes out. So, furniture account debited with 10,000. To cash account again 10,000, being furniture bought. So, here a journal entry, debit what comes in, furniture is coming in the business and cash is going out. But amount here will be same, that is 10,000 in both cases. Customers rank your business based on its credibility, its product or service quality and their satisfaction. You can help define your brand by making office design and furniture choices that fit the message you want to convey. Of course, the bottom line affects decisions like furniture selection, but outfitting your business with quality furniture does not have to mean making a large investment. Furniture rental provides cost-effective, flexible options that easily adjust to your business needs. Now the next transaction, on 13th January 2015, Mickey buys a packing machine worth rupees 75,000. So here are two elements involved. One is machine, another is cash. Machine and cash again are real accounts. Again these are assets, and our golden rule to be followed here is debit what comes in, credit what goes out. Machinery account debited to cash account with 75,000 each. Now you can see there are different tea bags packing machines. Pouch capacity is about 100 to 500 ml. They are automatic or semi-automatic, and they are different in different brands like modern flexi packaging system. Their only type is packing machine. Their pattern is to make small pouch like we use green tea bags, and minimum order at one time is just one piece. Now on 16th Jan 2015, Mickey buys cloth from Donald for rupees 7,500 and pays in cash. So here elements are cloth and cash. Cloth here refers to the item which Mickey used in his trade. Hence it is called purchases. The goods which are used in trade, which actually you have the business, that is known as your purchases. The things in which you trade in are known as your purchases. So purchases and cash again are two assets. They represent real accounts. Debit what comes in, credit what goes out. So purchases are coming in business, purchases account debit to cash account with rupees 7,500. Then comes repair and maintenance cost. Repair and maintenance costs are occurred in first, that is carrying out routine maintenance work as a preventive measure. Expenditure incurred in this situation is generally of routine and minor nature. Undertaking the restoration activity due to breakdown of equipment. Thus, repairs and maintenance cost is the cost of all activities required to restore the asset to a condition to perform its function at intended capacity and efficiency. So, repairs and maintenance cost includes cost of repaired materials, rivets, sheets, pipes, welding electrodes, spare parts, sub-assemblies of equipment, consumable stores like oil, lubricants, gas, cotton waste, grease and many more. Supervision and management. Crew employed for supervision and management. So what are the various uses here? Power, water and steam. Cost of equipment used for repair work, that is share of usage cost for cranes, forklift trucks and so on. Allocating costs from other service cost centers. Part of some equipment may require replacement at regular periodic intervals. For example, a furnace may require relining after a specified number of hours of use, or aircraft interiors such as seats and galleys may require replacement several times during the life of the airframe. Costing system shall make appropriate classifications of repairs and maintenance costs. So he is actually now want to have some equipment maintenance cost. Mickey has to pay repair cost of his packing machinery. So he incurs on 19th Jan rupees 500 as repair charges for the packing machinery. Elements are repair for machinery and cash. So repair is an expense, it is a nominal account and all expenses should be debited. But cash is an asset, it's a real account, but we credit what goes out. So cash is going out, so we should credit the cash. An entry would be repairs for machinery account debit to cash account with rupees 500. Narration is being machinery purchased, no, being machinery repaired. Accounting for maintenance and repair expenditure depends on the nature of the repairs, whether such repairs are ordinary, major or extraordinary. Ordinary repairs are performed to maintain fixed assets in operating condition. Ordinary repairs usually benefit only the period when such repairs are done. As a result, ordinary repairs are expensed in the periods incurred. Ordinary repairs represent revenue expenditures. For example, examples of ordinary maintenance and repair activities include painting, repairing, plumbing, adjusting and cleaning equipments, lubricating machines, replacing minor parts, putting in fuel and many more. So all these costs and their accounting reduces the value of assets, which is known as depreciation, and it shows a declining graph as well. Now on 22nd Jan 2015, Mickey sells packed cloth worth rupees 10,000 to Goofy for cash. So this is sales transaction. Here elements are packed cloth and cash. Packed cloth refers to the item in which Mickey trades. That is, he is involved in the business of packing cloth. Hence it is called sales. Like the material he purchased is called purchases, and here if he is selling, then it will be called as sales. Again we have two accounts, two real accounts, that is two assets. One is cash, another is sales, and we will follow the golden rule: debit what comes in, credit what goes out. So actually, while calculating the sales or the cost of sales, our formula is opening stock, that is beginning inventory, plus purchases minus closing stock, that is ending inventory. Cash account debit to sales account. Now the next key term here we want to discuss is containment or agglomeration. Small objects are typically grouped together in one package for reasons of efficiency. For example, a single box of 1,000 pencils requires less physical handling than 1,000 single pencils. Liquids, powders and granular materials need containment. That is, they all should be put in proper containers so that their handling becomes easy. First of all, we have information transmission. Packages and labels communicate how to use, transport, recycle or dispose of the package or product. With pharmaceuticals, food, medical and chemical products, some types of information are required by the regulatory authorities. Some packages and labels are used for track and trace purposes. Next we have marketing. The packaging and labels are used by marketers to encourage potential buyers to purchase the product. Next is security. Packaging can play an important role in reducing the security risks of shipment. Packages can be made with improved tamper resistance to deter tampering. Next we have convenience. Packages can have features that add convenience in distribution. Packaging is enclosing or protecting products for distribution, storage, sale and use. Material used for packaging is termed as packing material. Packing material is required for containment, protection, handling, presentation, delivery, transporting, warehousing, logistics, sale and end use of the product as detailed below. First of all, they are packed for physical protection. The products enclosed in the package require protection from, among other things, like shock, vibration, compression, temperature and the likes. Barrier protection, a barrier from oxygen, water vapor, dust and the like is often required. Packing keeps the contents clean, fresh, sterile and safe for the use of purchasing. Now, on 23rd Jan 2015, Mickey buys clothes worth rupees 10,000 from Donald for credit. Purchases and credit. Here the purchase is done for credit basis, so no cash is paid. The giver is credited for the amount due to him. Purchases and Donald. We have two items, purchases and Donald, because Donald is the person from whom we have taken cloth on credit basis. So purchases is real account because it is an asset and Donald is a personal account. But we will follow the golden rule, debit what comes in and credit the giver. So you can look at the pic here. Purchasing something with a promise to pay at a later date. What does it mean? It means on credit basis. So one must have a good credit score for easier approval of loans, for better car insurance rates, bragging rights, utilities of the cell phone contracts and many more loan and credit card involvements. So when Mickey buys clothes on credit from Donald, his entry would be purchases account debit 10,000 to Donald account 10,000 being credit purchases made. Now the next one, that is on 25th January 2015, Mickey sells packed clothes worth rupees 15,000 to Goofy on credit. Now here again we have two items, sales and credit. Here the sales is done for credit basis. No cash is received. The receiver is debited for the amount due from him. Now he will become our debtor. Goofy is our debtor and sales has been made to him. Goofy is a personal account and sales being an asset, it's a real account. Debit the receiver and credit what goes out. This is the golden rule to be followed in this transaction. So as you can see, we have a CCC system, that is cash conversion cycle. Cash conversion cycle is equals to DIH plus DSO minus DPO. DIH is equals to stock over cost of goods sold into 365, that is number of days in a year. DSO, that is days receivables or sales outstanding. Accounts receivable over revenues into 365. Days payable outstanding, which is equals to accounts payable over cost of goods sold into 365. Account receivable is the amount which we have to receive from our debtors and account payables is the amount which we have to pay back to our credits because we have made purchases from them. So here in this case, journal entry would be Goofy account debited to sales account with rupees 15,000 being credit sales made. Now, what are credit sales? Credit sales refers to a sale in which the amount owed will be paid at a later date. In other words, credit sales are purchases made by customers who do not render payment in full in cash at the time of purchase. We have different types of sales transaction. There are three main types of sales transaction: cash sales, credit sales, and advance payment sales. The difference between these sales transactions simply lies in the timing of when cash is received. First of all, cash sales. Cash is collected when the sale is made and the goods or services are delivered to the customer. Next we have credit sales. Customers are given a period of time after the sale is made to pay the seller. Advance payment sales. Customers pay the seller in advance before the sale is made. Now on 28th January 2015, Mickey pays Donald rupees 8,000 and Donald allows Mickey a discount of 2,000. So first of all, here elements are three: cash, discount received, and Donald. Mickey receives a discount from Donald. The amount Mickey need to pay is a gain for Mickey's business. So first of all, we will try to learn what is cash discount. Company A Limited deals with mobile phones and accessories. If the buyer pays within 10 days of the purchase date, then the buyer will be given a discount at the rate of 1%. If the customer pays later than 10 days, then there no cash discount will be given. That is, cash discount is always subjected to some limited restrictions, to some limitations. But here the journal entry, because Donald is personal account, cash is an asset, it's a real account, discount received is your profit, which is a nominal account. So we will follow the criteria, that is debit the receiver, credit what goes out, and credit all incomes and gains. So entry would become Donald account debit to cash account to discount received account. Donald account debit with 10,000 to cash account 8,000 to discount received account 2,000. First of all, definition of cash discount. A cash discount is a deduction allowed by some sellers of goods or by some providers of services in order to motivate customers to pay within a specified time. The cash discount is also referred to as an early payment discount. The sellers and providers offering a cash discount will refer to it as a sales discount, while the buyer will refer to the same discount as a purchase discount. Example, my dentist offers a 5% cash discount if the dental fee is paid on the day of service. This discount is offered to avoid the expenses of billing, mailing, statements for unpaid amounts, processing partial payments, not collecting amounts owed, etc. The dentist and other accept credit card payments and pay a fee to a credit card processor in order to avoid similar expenses. On 31st Jan 2015, Mickey receives rupees 14,000 from Goofy in full settlement of the amount due from him. Full settlement means now Mickey himself is giving some discount to Goofy. So, cash, discount allowed, and Goofy are three elements involved in this transaction. Here Mickey allows Goofy a discount. The amount Goofy will not pay because of the discount is a loss to Mickey's business. So we have three elements here: cash account, discount allowed account, Goofy account. Cash account is an asset, it's a real account. Discount allowed is a loss, so it's a nominal account. And Goofy account is a personal account. So here we will follow the rule of debit what comes in, debit the loss, and credit the giver. And we are following a payment and settlement system. Cash account debit 14,000, discount allowed debit 1,000 to Goofy account 15,000. It shows that from Goofy, Mickey has to take 15,000, but he has given him discount of 1,000 in full settlement of his account. Now, what are the various payment and settlement systems in India? Payment and settlement systems in India are used for financial transactions. They are covered by the Payment and Settlement Systems Act 2007, that is PSS Act, legislated in December 2007 and regulated by RBI and the Board for Regulation and Supervision of Payment and Settlement Systems. India has multiple payments and settlement systems, both gross and net settlement systems. For gross settlement, India has a real-time gross settlement, that is RTGS system, called by the same name, and net settlement systems include ECS credit, that is electronic clearing services, electronic clearing services debit, credit cards, debit cards, National Electronic Fund Transfer NEFT system, immediate payment system IMPS, and unified payment interface, that is UPI. So RBI is doing its best to encourage alternative methods of payment which will bring security and inefficiency to the payment system and make the whole process easier for banks. The Indian banking sector has been growing successfully, innovating and trying to adopt and implement electronic payments to enhance the banking system. Though the Indian payment systems have always been dominated by a paper-based transaction, e-payments are not far behind. Ever since the introduction of e-payments in India, the banking sector has witnessed a growth like never before. So, on 2nd Feb 2015, Mickey pays Rs 5,000 as electricity bill charges for the last month. So, here elements are electricity bill and cash. Electricity charges are expenses and they represent nominal account. But cash is an asset, it's a real account. So, here we will follow the rule debit all expenses and credit what goes out. So, on 2nd February, electricity charges account debit 5,000 to cash account 5,000, being electricity charges paid. So, in Punjab, we all know that there is also a system of online bill payment, and we make payment to PSPCL, that is Punjab State Power Corporation Limited. So, being a domestic consumer, in different states we have different rates. Like in Punjab, it ranges from 4.81 to 7.33. In Delhi, it is 3 to 6.5. In Himachal Pradesh, it is 3.5 to 5.1. In Rajasthan, it ranges from 3.5 to 7.15. And in Haryana, it is 2.7 to 7.10 per unit consumption of electricity. Currently, bill payments related to electricity consumption made to electricity companies are not allowed through checks in case payment is made after a certain date or delayed late payment after due date. Assessee in such situations is left with no option but to pay in cash. To pay electricity bill online in SBPDCL, follow the steps given below. First of all, click on SBPDCL, select your division from drop down menu, write your consumer ID or account number and click on view and pay your bill. Now you can read and know your electricity bill amount you will have to pay. Internet banking and credit cards, all popular banks, click on pay and your bill is paid. On 4th February, Mickey takes Rs 3,000 to buy a cycle for his personal use. So when the word comes personal use granted out from the business, it is known as drawings. Drawings means anything withdrawal by the owner from the business in cash or in kind for his personal use, like for paying the college fees, income tax, right? Now, cash and Mickey, here two elements. Mickey withdraws cash for his personal use and his withdrawals are called drawings. It is treated as personal account. Cash is an asset, it's a real account. Drawings, it's a personal account. And here we will follow the rule, debit the receiver and credit what goes out. So drawings account debited to cash account, 3,000 each, being drawings made by the owner. A drawing account is an accounting record maintained to track money withdrawn from a business by its owner. A drawing account is used primarily for businesses that are taxed as sole proprietorships or partnerships. Drawings can occur by withdrawing cash from a business account, but can also include anything that is considered a business asset, such as products or equipment that is removed from business for personal use by the owners. Any type of drawings reduce the capital or owner's equity of a business. So it is important to keep track of these drawings and manage them within your accounts. However, drawings are not considered as a business expense. So I hope the topic is now clear to all of you. Read the PDF given with you and follow the YouTube links for more clearance of the topic. You have to answer the following questions. Pass the journal entries for the following transaction. Harish started business with cash 10,000. Bought goods from Manohar 5,000. Purchased fittings for cash 800. Sold goods to Charanjit 1,600. Paid Manohar 3,000. Sold goods to Vedaram rupees 2,000. Received from Charanjit rupees 1,540 and allowed him discount 60. Paid wages rupees 80. Bought goods for cash rupees 600. Sold goods to Ramesh rupees 3,400. Purchased goods from Purushottam rupees 2,600. Paid Manohar in settlement rupees 1,900 and discount allowed by him rupees 100. Paid carriage from goods and sold rupees 40. Paid wages rupees 80. Bought goods from Manohar rupees 3,000. Bought goods for cash rupees 800. Sold goods to Vedaram rupees 3,600. Vedaram paid on account rupees 4,000. Purchased goods from Harman rupees 1,500. Sold goods for cash 1,600. Paid wages rupees 80. Paid to Harman's rupees 1,440 and discount allowed by him is 60. Sold goods to Charanjit rupees 2,600. Bought goods from Manohar 1,400. Bought goods for cash 1,460. Paid on account to Manohar 1,460. Received from Charanjit 4,000. Paid wages 80. Paid for electric lighting rupees 100. Paid rent rupees 160. Since here dates are not given, so in date column we will write the number of transaction 1, 2, 20, 27 onwards. Right? Thank you.